I'm here with Jeremy Garner, Road Superintendent with the City of Fort St. John. Jeremy, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks.
So recently the city announced that they were going to be starting their snow plowing service. Can you tell us a little bit about the city's plan of attack?
Sure. First of all, we're always ready for any emergency that happens. Our equipment's been up and ready to go since early fall, so we're ready and expecting this. We have a great group of snow fighters out there and seasoned veterans that know the city and know how to clear it in the most efficient way possible.
I see. So I understand that there's a two kind of stage attack. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening there?
Yeah, absolutely. We have priority 1 routes, and then we have priority 2 routes. And priority 1 routes are mostly the 4-lane collectors and bus routes. So we tackle those first. Then we actually move into the core, the downtown core. You'll see the windrows piled up. Most of the time we build them at night and we haul them off during the day. Once we get the P1s done and the core done, then we move into priority 2, which is mostly residential. If we get another accumulation of 5 centimeters, we go back to P1s and keep those open.
I see. Okay. And so how did the city arrive at this plan of attack for tackling priority 1 routes first and then moving on to others?
Sure. Well, years ago, and some of the old timers might remember getting your driveway filled with a snowplow. And we used to go through the city with a snowplow. We could make it through in 2 or 3 days, and we just opened the streets with the snowplow, a dump truck with an underbody blade, and the snow went up people's driveways. We got some negative feedback on that, particularly when the weather was warm and cold and warm and cold. People would come home and their driveway would be full of ice. So the city heard that and heard its citizens, so we put together a task force that looked at the snow removal in the city. We met with a number of residents, a number of professionals, a number of our snow fighters, and the management team here, and put together a committee and suggested that we come up with some methodology that would keep the driveways clear. That was the main goal. So the current system we use with graders, they have gates on them that are able to keep the snow out of people's driveways, and the snow blowers. It's a little bit slower, it's considerably slower, but people don't end up with plowed driveways.
So you said that in the old system it would take 3 days to get through the entire city. Barring another major snowfall that would have to cause you to restart on the priority 1 routes, how quickly would the snow fighters get through the entire city?
So yeah, for example, if we had a 5 centimeter snow and then we had no other snowfall in a perfect world, we could more than likely get through the whole city in about 6 weeks.
I see. So how effective do you feel that this system is for tackling the snowfall that hits Fort St. John?
Well, I think when the snowfall hits and our snow removal policy being effective is all relevant to what you drive and what you do in the city. So for someone driving a jacked up truck, a diesel 1-ton, he probably doesn't see the 5 centimeters, but someone driving a Focus or a smart car is going to have considerable different time traveling on the 5 centimeters.
I see. Okay, and so when the city announced this plan of attack on Facebook, when they made this announcement a couple days ago, there was considerable kind of frustration from some of the users of Facebook complaining about how long it takes for cities to get to for the city to get to their roads. What would you say to those people who are kind of having a little bit of that frustration?
Well, I can certainly understand the frustration when the snow comes down and you have to get to work and it takes a little longer and the roads are slippery. And it sure would be nice to have, everyone would like their street plowed first. We take into account the roads with the highest traffic on them. We take into account the bus routes, and we also always are considering emergency services. So we want to make sure that the firefighters and the police can get through the city effectively.
I see. Okay, and so for those people who it might take a while to get to their street, what can they do to kind of to kind of prepare for that?
That's a great question, and one of the neat little tricks that I tell people is to have a look at our priority map, and you can find out where you live, and the quickest route to a priority 1, and the quickest route to a bus route as well. So you may only have to go a block or two, get on a bus route, and that's going to be plowed quicker than a residential road. So that's just a neat little trick that sometimes works.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Jeremy, thanks again for your time.
Thank you.